Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight is rapidly approaching, and I've got 5 questions in relation to it and the wider promotion of it. So the first question relates to why no press tour? It was a highly effective marketing and promotional tool the first time around. They did 2 countries, 3 different dates over 3 different venues. It was actually something that generated a lot of headlines. But this time, no press tour and no real explanation why. I did see that ESPN analysts Andre Ward, Tim Bradley and Mark Kriegel sort of explaining away that the fight didn't need it, the fight sells itself, these guys didn't need to do a press tour. But it seemed a bit flimsy to me. And I think really what it comes down to is they've run out of time. The fight was announced at the end of December 2019, less than 2 months out from the fight date. So it kind of left, the logistical side of things probably a little bit tight in terms of organising a fully fledged 3-city, 2-country press tour, the same as the first time around. And it's a bit of a shame, I think, because they would have got a decent little push from that. As it happens, after it was announced this rematch, Tyson Fury went to a college football game, Deontay Wilder was sick, couldn't do his appearance. And I don't think it quite had the oomph that the press tour the first time around did. But I guess the question is, well, why didn't they have one? It comes down to time, I think. But 2, is this going to have any sort of impact? Maybe not, because in this situation for this rematch, it's a bit different from the first one. Remember, Showtime was actually carrying the fight the first time around, whereas this time it's Fox and ESPN, which are bigger than Showtime, and obviously with 2 big networks pushing this fight, and they can have different opportunities on different platforms and programming and other bits and pieces. They can push this at their audience quite a bit, a lot more than Showtime probably had the ability to do the first time around. They can reach more people this time. But I guess a press tour, it sort of falls into the camp of it would have been nice to have. You may recall the first time Tyson Fury torched Deontay Wilder a couple of times, and Shelley Finkel fell off a chair at the final one when there was some pushing and shoving between the Wilder and Fury camps. There was quite a bit of action, a lot of headlines. But ultimately, it may not matter because they're going to be pushing this all across Fox and ESPN's platforms. They'll be doing all sorts of stuff, including, promotion around Super Bowl. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on this rematch. And I guess that brings me to my next question is, what sort of pay-per-view numbers can they do? What sort of stars are Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury going to be after this fight? Win or lose, the star power and recognition of both probably goes up. 330,000 or so for the first fight. My prediction is I think it does at least about double that. So somewhere around 600, 700,000 buys. We've heard Bob Arum, the top-ranked promoter, saying it'll do 2 million pay-per-view buys. He's been saying that since early 2019. But that's the thing. In this market at this point, anything over 500,000 buys is actually really good going. We didn't really see anything above 600,000 buys in 2019. So if Wilder and Fury can actually captivate an audience, a casual audience in the United States, $75 per buy, they could actually do some decent numbers, and there will be the payoff for everyone involved here. But 700,000, a million, 2 million, that's sort of finger in the air stuff, but I do think it's more likely to be more double the first event rather than sort of timesing it by 6, as Bob Arum sort of suggests. What do you actually think this will do, and how big a star do you think either the winner or the loser is going to be after this one? Probably both come out with a lot more recognition from the public at large. And if they can really promote this well across both of those networks, Fox and ESPN, it could really be sort of catapult them just out of that boxing sphere, because at this point there's not too many boxers across the world that have cut through to general populations, household names, the sort of way it used to be. But this could be the sort of fight that could catapult one or the other or both into that sort of stratosphere. It'll be interesting. Okay, so on to the third question. February the 22nd was a date that they were talking about for some time. They were sticking to that date. They held to that date. They made that date. But obviously the turnaround for Deontay Wilder was 3 months. It's a bit more for Tyson Fury, who fought Otto One a couple of months before Wilder fought Luis Ortiz. But he had a couple of health issues of his own, those couple of cuts that were healing. Whereas Wilder doing a tight turnaround like this hasn't been something that he's done for a number of years. So he generally has only fought in the past few years twice a year. So this 3-month turnaround in Deontay Wilder with an injury history, I just wonder, how is the health? How is the body holding up? And the same goes for Tyson Fury. Is the cuts that were on his right eye, are they healing up? Is it going to be an issue in the rematch? And I'll talk more about that in other coverage closer to the fight. But with a about 3-month lead-in time for Deontay Wilder, who had a full training camp and has gone back into training camp only a month or so after his last fight, and Fury with cuts, he's in training camp again. What's going to be the result, and is there going to be any ill effects, health-wise for either guy? Little niggles that these guys will be carrying, or other things that won't be disclosed until after the fight. It'll be interesting because these guys, it's elite heavyweight boxing, small margins, and pushing your body a bit too much, sometimes something can go. Hopefully both guys do come through in a healthy and in tip-top condition for the fight. Okay, so the fourth question, it's more a Tyson Fury sort of question, with Ben Davison being out and his new trainer, Javan Sugar Hill, aka Sugar Hill Stewart. What is going to be the impact of the trainer change? I mean, they do say sometimes a change of scenery can be as good as a holiday. Will Tyson Fury have a bit of a bounce effect from the change of trainer? He's talked about Ben Davison, things being stale and repetitive. Is this going to be a good thing for Fury? A few different other bits and pieces that Javan Sugar Hill will be doing that Davison wasn't, that can keep him motivated and on track in the build-up to this rematch. Unfortunately, this sort of situation probably going to be answered with hindsight, because Davison, he was a leading influence in Tyson Fury's life and career for the past couple of years, now not on board in any capacity in training camp. So this change to Javan Sugar Hill, will it bear fruit? What do you make of it all? And the final question, Tyson Fury's been giving it the big one, saying that he will stop Deontay Wilder. And we saw it the first time in the first build-up. He said he was going to knock him out and, I'll stop you, you dosser, and other bits and pieces. Can Tyson Fury stop Deontay Wilder? Can he be the first guy, 1, to beat him, but 2, to knock him out? Can he actually knock Deontay Wilder out, or is he going to get knocked out himself? Because he's going to have to sit down on some punches if he wants to knock Deontay Wilder out. You may see a more efficient Deontay Wilder, a guy that's a little less anxious and not throwing as many haymakers in the second fight. He may be more clinical, but does that offer any more openings for Tyson Fury to exploit? And now working with Javan Sugar Hill, which power is part of, their sort of mantra at the Kronk Gym, is he going to be able to do some damage to Deontay Wilder? I would still sort of think that Fury will likely try to box to a decision, stay out of harm's way, but what will the influence of Javan Sugar Hill be here in terms of that power side of things? I've talked about working on a few technical things. They haven't gone into any real detail, but obviously power is something that Javan Sugar Hill will be asking of Tyson Fury to try put more mustard on his shots. Can he, and will it have an influence? Will it be the sort of precursor to knocking Deontay Wilder out? That's another hindsight sort of question, but what do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.